how's it going? I'm putting together a Halloween inspired pot today, but first we have to go to the store to get a few things for it. I'm hoping to find a couple of black crows. I hope they still have some. Dang it, they're out of black crows, which is okay. I have a couple from a few years ago, but they're a little worse for the wear, but I'll just use them anyway. So now we're at the grocery store. I have to pick up a few pumpkins. This is not necessarily for the container design. This is for putting around the container. I don't have a single pumpkin out yet, and it's October 6th. This is what I got. There are 2, 4, 6 large pumpkins, 5 of these cute little ones, and then a couple of white pumpkins with perfect stems. Thanks, Erin, for showcasing that. We just got the pumpkins home, but I think I'm gonna leave them in here and go gather up all the rest of my stuff first. All right, so this is the container I'm gonna use for this arrangement because it's been sitting in the garage since this spring. Crescent Garden sent it out to us. I just haven't had a chance to use it, but I think it'll be perfect for a Halloween inspired arrangement. So now I need to just go grab some plants. I'm not sure what I'm gonna use. I'm just gonna grab a bunch of stuff and we'll see what happens. Also, I want to use as my centerpiece, I want to use a branch. I already cut this one. I'll show you where I got this in my garden. This is an old lilac bush that I have. Isn't that perfect for Halloween? Like, look at that. As a centerpiece, like a perfect gnarled looking branch with like little lichen moss on it. I love it. I'm gonna grab some pansies, these 2 toffee twist carex, Dichondra Silver Falls, Super Tunia Royal Velvet, a couple of these Tuscan Black Kale, and a few of the Primo Wild Rose Hookahras. Now the only thing left is soil and a couple decorative things I'm gonna go grab. This is the lilac where I got that really cool gnarled looking branch. If you look up here, you can see that there are more. So if I decide to do another arrangement for Halloween, I have more branches to come cut if I want to. The last thing I need are the crows that I have from a couple years ago. So I'm gonna have to try to fish them out of this decorating closet, which is kind of scary. Perfect. So I've got all my supplies gathered up. So I'm gonna set the container right here. This is, I think, where I'm gonna end up leaving it. And that's always a really good idea to figure out your spot before you start planting, especially if it's a larger container, because they can get quite heavy once they're done. So I'm gonna unload the cart, put the container down and fill it with soil, and then we'll start planting. So we walk to our back door this way. So I think I want to face the front of the container that way. All right, so the first thing I usually place in containers is a centerpiece, whether I'm using branches or a plant. So I'm going to try to kind of get this one worked down in the soil. I'm not sure how easy this is going to be, but I do want it to be pretty much centered in the container in the end. I love it. So you can see that the branch doesn't look centered in the container, but the general shape of this branch looks like it's kind of sitting center to the container. Okay, so I'm gonna start with my bulkiest thing first, which is the kale. I'm not sure if I'm gonna use 1 or 2. So I'm just gonna start with 1 and see how it goes. So this part always makes quite a bit of a mess, so I'm gonna go get the blower when I'm all done to clean off the sidewalks. See, look at that. Makes a huge mess. And then you always want to groom your plants up too before you put them in the container. So this one, I think I'm going to place this one kind of, let me get around the front here, right in here. So I'm going to direct a couple of these leaves back behind the branch. I think that looks good. Whoa. Watch yourself. Get poked in the face by a stick. Yeah, I think that's perfect. I think this kale is actually the perfect touch for Halloween because it just has that look to it. I don't know, it's really neat looking. So I do think I'm going to use the second one right back here so that the arrangement's weighted kind of correctly. And then as far as root systems go, on some things I'll tease the roots if they need it. These aren't looking too bad though because you can't see a ton of root action going on. If they don't look root bound, you don't have to tease the roots, not necessary. So the next plant I'm going to use, because I'm kind of going like biggest to smallest here, are the carex. And I think I'm going to kind of do the same thing with these that I did with the kale. I think I'm going to work one of these in the front and then maybe one toward that back corner. think the next plant I'm going to go with are the Dichondra here, just because it makes it easier to tuck in your spiller at this point and then kind of build behind it a little bit. And I think I'm going to use both of them because I think for this size of container, one might look a little too skinny. I think two together gives it the correct amount of like oomph, if that's a design term. So now I'm going to tuck in a couple of these Hookahras. I think I can do 2 of them in here. These are pretty. I kind of chose like all moody colors, like just kind of moody, like almost, I kind of want it to have that kind of spooky look, I guess. Okay, so I don't think I have enough room for this one here. I might be able to tuck it in the back. In fact, yeah, let's do that. I'm going to tuck it in the back. Yeah, that kind of finishes it off a little bit here in the back. I always kind of forget. I'm so used to designing arrangements that are going to be backed up against something that I don't think about how the back looks very often. So this will look nice. Okay, so for my last plants, I think I'm going to use the pansies. I think this is too bright for this arrangement. I think it's going to throw off kind of the palette a little bit. So I'm going to use these. Look at that. That's like the perfect pansy for Halloween anyway. So I'm just going to tuck a few in here and then maybe a couple around the side. Do we need a more powerful blower?
Need some water.
All right, that's fine. It's Halloween. It can look dirty. For the last thing in this arrangement, I want to put some black crows in here. So I have 1 big one and 3 little ones. And like I said, this is why I went and looked for new ones, because mine are looking a little bit worse for the wear, like really bad. I've used these for probably like 4 or 5 Halloweens. So I'm going to tuck the big one down here. Kind of nestle him right down in there like that, peeking out. And then these guys, let's see, I'm going to perch in the branches. So they have little wire on their feet, and you do have to manipulate them for a little while to get them to actually stay, but it works pretty good. Let's see, so I want to do one like right here, I think. Come on. Perfect. And the last one is going to go up in here somewhere. Let's see, maybe like right up in here. Yeah. I like it. I think it turned out really cute for Halloween. I'm gonna have to be careful. I might have to trim a little bit off the side because this is where we walk. So we'll either have to be like conscious of it so we could make room, or I could maybe scoot it a little bit that way. But I think this branch is perfect. The crows are perfect. And I love all of these plants. And all of these should do really well. So the Hookahras that I used are perennial. So I could either winter them over in this container, keep them watered, maybe move them into the greenhouse for the winter. It's not heated, so it stays cold enough. It'll keep them healthy. The pansies, the Dichondra, and the Kale are not, they're annual, they're not perennial. And then the grasses are a zone 7, so they're not perennial in my area, but they might be in yours. But they're a beautiful grass and perfect in this type of arrangement, I think. So that's pretty much it. That's what I go through when I'm putting it together an arrangement. It's basically a lot. Most of my time is not spent actually doing the arrangement. It's spent gathering all of my props. Like going to get the pumpkins, which I almost forgot about. So I want to put some pumpkins around the base of this. And then getting your branch and getting your crows and going to the store and not finding what you need. I mean, it's just like lots of different steps. And then, you know, you got to figure out what pot you want to use, get your soil and your plants. So that's pretty much what one of my arrangements entails. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this video and maybe coming up with a little bit of inspiration for your own Halloween decorations this year. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.